Trainers, we are back here at the top 8 of the Lanaken mid-season showdown. At some point, I'm going to get used to saying mid-season showdown.
I was literally about to correct you. I was about to jump in and say regional championship.
Waiting for this correct. I'll give you it. Maybe we'll get to the finals where it does feel like a regional championship. We'll be able to correct me there. But thank you for your support, continuing along all today and hopefully all of tomorrow, as well as we're here, of course, for the double mid-season showdown here in Lanaken. And my name, of course, is Ben Kiriaka, joined here by the wonderful Charlie Merriman.
Hello there, Ben. Thank you very much. Wonderful. You're too kind. You're wonderful. Oh, stop it. It's all carry on. Focus on the Pokemon. We haven't seen any Eviolite Snoms coming out so far. Haven't seen any Frostmoth. Would like to see some Frost. That's what I'm bringing to the Premier Challenge later. But I think it's got a lot of potential. You're bringing Kingdra, of course, Ben. You're taking a leaf out of the Chizingdra book. And making sure that it gets the representation. So thank you very much for doing that. I wish you luck on your quest.
Hopefully, Charlie, I can do it justice.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
There's a lot of justice to be done.
It's a genius team. It's quite difficult to execute, but that's part of how genius it is. Maybe your opponents aren't going to be expecting it coming up. There they are. That's our top 8 standings. Alexander Ubaz there. 5-0, incredible.
Very good.
And the only player to have that record, Joshua Van Sandyk, in going at a 4-1 record, and the rest we have 3s and 2s. And we're heading ever closer to the World Championships, and at this stage, all trainers are bringing their A game. So to go 3-2, have a record of that is still absolutely fantastic right here. These names, we featured them all on stream so far, apart from Joshua Van Sandyk. So looking forward to seeing what they are cooking up. But so many cool Pokemon picks, and it's so thrilled to be able to feature some of these teams. Yeah,
it's great to see some of the blast of the past for me in Luca Paul's player from Germany that's been playing for a very, very long time. We were reminiscing earlier about the glory days, so to speak. And Luca getting to the top 8 of this mid-season showdown, kind of living the glory days that maybe I'm not so much. So we'll see in the Premier Challenge if Kingdra can get me a little bit of a way closer to reclaiming some of those. But all of these trainers have been fantastic today, and some really, really spicy picks. I will say some commiserations, unfortunately, to Benjamin, who we saw on stream earlier, playing that Terra Rock Venusaur that we had a blast casting over. If you didn't see that match, definitely go back and watch it, because that was such an excellent way of using that Pokemon.
A missed opportunity for you there, Ben, to say a Terra Blast watching that. Note for next time.
I'll leave you with that pun, Charlie. You are the pun man.
All right then, bringing the merry and the but absolutely make sure you go back and check out that match. And here they are, Jost and Charel. Now we have just featured Jost on stream. If you're just joining, that team: Iron Moth, Gallade, Iron Crown, regular Ursaluna, indeed, and the Ogerpon Wellspring as well. Let's hope we can see the Iron Moth get up to more antics than it was able to get up to in the previous game. And for Charel, there aren't 2 Urshifus on that team. He hasn't been able to crack the system and work out the way to play 2. But it is going to be a Glastria. That's definitely on the team. And can't wait to see, again, hopefully that Pokemon get up to more antics in this game. Because when we featured Charel earlier, weren't able to see Glastria get up to too much. But Charel is here in the top 8, has another chance to really make their mark.
And these trainers are getting started. The other Pokemon on the team for Charel that we can't see at the moment is, of course, Farigiraf. And that rounds out this sort of Trick Room composition with Blood Moon Ursaluna and Glastria and Amoonguss and Incineroar, and make sure that it can operate really effectively. And that's something I'm really fascinated to see between these 2 trainers. Both of them, and a lot of the trainers that we've been featuring today, have been really opting for that Trick Room strategy. They all have the chance to be able to go for it, but which one wants to and which one doesn't really is determined by the supporting cast. And looking at Jost's team, that Ursaluna, the regular Ursaluna, is that just a little bit slower than the Blood Moon Ursaluna that Charel is running. So maybe that is going to make a little bit of a factor. But of course, Jost has this faster mode of the team that Charel is kind of missing out on. Charel really leaning into the Trick Room strategy, whether Jost is playing a little bit more of a, hey, maybe I can go fast, maybe I can go a little bit slower. It depends on who I'm facing up against. And certainly when you play up against a player that's running a Trick Room strategy, you probably want to deny it instead of using it yourself.
Yeah, well, that's going to be mind games, certainly, that are going to be coming out here. There are no repeated Pokemon on either side of the field, which is really exciting. There's going to be no mirrors going on here. It's all unique picks, and it's all to play for. Amoonguss lurking away there as well, of course. As you said, the regular Ursaluna that Jost is running is the slower Ursaluna, and so could be the way the Amoonguss speed tier works, that could be factor in as well. But here we go. Blood Moon Ursaluna and Frigoroth coming out for Charel, and Indeedee and Gallade for Jost. A lead that we've seen Jost go for in that previous game. Now you're boosting up the power of Psycho Cut, for example, coming out for Gallade, boosted further by the Psychic Terrain. Of course, if there's the Iron Crown in the back, you can go for double expanding full there as well. But which of these Pokemon, if any, is going to click Trick Room? Either Gallade or Indeedee could, or the Frigoroth could for Charel.
And does the Ursaluna on Charel's side go for the Protect? Or is it maybe capable of taking this Sacred Sword from the Sharpness boosted and potentially Helping Hand boosted Gallade with the support of Indeedee? And even if the Trick Room does go up on from either of these players, both of them have the opportunity to reverse that Trick Room as well, but we're going to kick things off with a Helping Hand.
Helping Hand, Gallade going all in on this turn. Let's hope it wasn't targeting the Ursaluna, because that's keeping itself safe with a Protect. And eyes on this Gallade now. What's it going to be doing?
No, it's not enough.
It's going to be able to hold on in the face of that Sacred Sword that was coming out. But it wasn't a Trick Room coming out. It was, in fact, just a Hyper Voice. Now it's got a boost to its special attack. Really well-trained Frigoroth there.
A really, really well-trained Frigoroth. And now that the Ursaluna has gone for the Protect, then it's got to be worried about a Helping Hand, a Sacred Sword. Seeing how much damage that did to the Frigoroth, it's a bulky Pokemon. It can take lots of attacks. It's not super effective, even though it looked like it was. Yeah. And Ursaluna is weak to it, regardless of whether it stays in its regular form or Terras into the Terra Normal type that we've seen pretty much every round so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. Terra Normal. We've seen a lot of Blood Moon Ursaluna today. Perhaps we'd love to see what it can achieve in regulation section.
Doesn't even need it.
Enough for the one knockout. Sacred Sword coming out. Doesn't need the Helping Hand. We can see Jost nodding there, little smile to the camera, knows how incredible the damage output of that play can be. And Dazzling Gleam takes down Charel Frigoroth as well. So Indeedee going on the offensive, just because it had the luxury of being able to do that turn.
Wow. I'm so impressed with Gallade, and it's probably trained to be pretty offensively capable because of how much damage that did. Now we have the Incineroar coming out for Charel and the Glastrier, of course. Now Glastrier is the Terra Fire, and Incineroar is Terra Grass that we saw in the previous round. Charel going for that Terra Grass previously. Either one can go for a Terra to play defensively, but that does open up the other to taking a super effective Sacred Sword. And having seen what I've just witnessed here, Charlie, I don't think either of them will be wanting to take that hit anytime soon.
Right, it's the momentum very squarely in Jost's favour right now. Here comes another Helping Hand. This Gallade is fast becoming the MVP of this particular game. Protect coming out from the Glastrier, but if that's a Sacred Sword into the Incineroar, then that's going to be a fantastic goal. Yes, it is. There it goes into the Incineroar. That's enough for another one-hit knockout, trainers. This Gallade absolutely running rampant on the field right now. Incredible damage output coming out, even without the Helping Hand. And yeah, for Charel, got to be thinking, wow, okay, I brought 3 Pokemon that are weak to fighting type moves. Maybe heading into game 2, I don't need that again.
Yeah, Gallade looks like a little bit of a threat this turn as, I think rightly the Glastrier is going for its Terrifier. Now no longer weak to the fighting type moves. There's another Helping Hand coming up from Indeedee. Is it going to matter? We've got Sharpness boost, we've got Terrain boost, we've got a Psycho Cut coming into that Glastrier. Yes, it does matter, but only just. Glastrier, though, is able to get a KO. Gallade has finally gone down after knocking out 3 of Charel's Pokemon, and wow. It's getting its Chilling Neigh boost. but there's a lot of an uphill battle, and I think both of the Pokemon that we could see in the back for Jost are going to outspeed and easily dispatch of this Glastrier.
Gallade, Glastrier, lots of G's and L's, and the GL I'm wishing is to Charel here. Good luck heading into Game 2, because masterfully played by Jost, and Gallade more than proving its worth. Of course, Terrify now making it weak to that Ivy Cudgel, but I'm very polite of Jost to have set up that Trick Room for the Glastrier. You just protect your Pokemon, set up the Trick Room, then Glastrier has the chance to sweep, but of course Jost's not going to allow Charel the luxury of being able to do that. But yeah, where there's a Chilling Neigh, there can be a way. It's such a fantastic ability, but you want to be able to set up that Trick Room. And of course, earlier on in the game, the Frigoroth went for Hyper Voice rather than the Trick Room. There was that Mind Game on turn 1. 3 of the Pokemon on the field could have gone for it. In the end, none of them did. So this is just something that you have to put up with if you're playing a Trick Room team, those Mind Games.
What I want to know.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to give you the answer.
No, I'm not. I can't give me the answer either, but was that Sacred Sword on Gallade knocking out the Ursaluna that turn, was that guaranteed?
I would have said, but boosted by the sharpness as well. I've got a very noddy Schmon here in the back as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Seems to be fairly set on that.
Like,
I'd have assumed it could have been a roll, but I would have assumed even if it were a roll,
in my head, it needs a helping hand.
Right.
Maybe I'm not respecting Gallade enough. Clearly that's the case. Because...
Well, I mean, you're right, because Ursaluna is more bulky on the physical defense side than the special.
Exactly.
But, I mean, yeah, I would assume so. I'd assume so.
I'm going to have to look this up.
Yeah. Gallade. What a go. Oh, here he is.
Yeah, it is with the sharpness boost. Yeah.
Watch Monstages then with Sacred Sword is stronger than close combat, if you weren't able to hear that into the microphone. And of course with Sacred Sword you don't get to reduce your defenses, you just cut through any attack drops or indeed defense boosts as well.
I'm still not convinced. I don't know.
Well, listen.
You know what? It's what happens.
That's on
it's
you.
what happens. It is on me. It is on me. It's totally on me.
In your own time, young man. Because we've got a Game 2 to get into as these trainers get settled and as Charel works out what he's going to do against this.
You've got to do something. You've got to do something.
And I think Incineroar can be a huge part of that. It's just, it's dark type, so it can resist it.
With a clear amulet, on the Gallade, though, it's really difficult to be able to diminish the power of its moves.
Yeah.
This is not one of the Incineroars that's running a option for go for a Will-O-Wisp, so there's no other way for it to lower the damage. I think it's really down to Charel to change up the board state, but the trouble is when you change up the board state like this, when you bring the Amoonguss onto the field,
it's going to be taking super effective damage from the Gallade nonetheless. Ben just transformed into me there, doing his best Ditto impression. It's going to be the Amoonguss and the Frigoroth coming out for Charel. And Gallade once more paired alongside the Ogerpon for Jost. And Gallade does super effective damage into so much of Charel's team. Incineroar, super effective fighting. Amoonguss, super effective psychic. Urshifu, super effective psychic. Frigoroth, that at least is taking neutral damage. Ursaluna, super effective fighting. And Glastrier, super effective fighting. And Schmon, I don't know about you. You've just joined the field extreme speed, but how are you feeling about this?
Well, I'm feeling quite confident in that. Gallade is quite a powerful mon and something so scary to be aware of, because we have the Terra activation immediately going for that bit more defensive with the Terra Grass, making sure that there's no spore incoming from the Amoonguss itself.
Yeah.
But a Psycho Cut could definitely prove very dangerous right now for the Amoonguss if it does not choose to Terra. But we have another Terra activation here as well on Shadow's side. It is most likely gonna be that Amoonguss as well, going into that water typing, so being able to take that just a bit better.
Terra Water could be huge for Amoonguss in this matchup. And Ogerpon right now able to get that Ivy Cudgel down into Charel's Frigoroth, surviving above half its health, but then the follow-up Sacred Sword, enough for the knockout. So Charel were angling for a Trick Room there. It's not going to be an option on the table. So Jost really keeping the momentum in their favor.
And that was indeed a spore coming out as well on both of these Pokemon, of course, being that grass typing right now, making sure that these cannot be put to sleep. And Jost just proving like he's got this matches down. There's there might be a Glacier there, but still he knows what to do left and right.
Gallade is really huge for Jost here. I'm so pleased to be able to see it shine in this particular matchup as these trainers lock in their moves right now. Now, heading over, if we look at Charel's side of the field, we've got the Glastrier there, and it's not in Trick Room, it's not in its preferred environment. The Terror has been spent on the Amoonguss. It can't terrestrialize away from that fighting type weakness, but it is a very bulky Pokemon, so it could still achieve a huge amount. The game is certainly not over, but Jost has been playing masterfully so far.
Yeah, it is as you said, like the options are still there as the Among Us is going for that Rage Powder. Unfortunately, both Pokemon being that grass typing still not being able to really be redirected in that regard. We have an Ivy Concho from the Ogre Pond itself into that Among Us slot, doing just a bit of damage and the critical hit on top there as well. As now a Sigurdstor is just the KO on Glacier. Glacier is bulky but not Gallade bulky.
Glacier did what it could, but Jost has been running rampant in this game. Here comes Ursaluna onto the field once again. Trick Room not set up, but really bulky Pokemon. But again, in the face of the fighting type moves that Glade can throw out, and of course now Hornleech super effective into the Amoonguss, it's really not looking good for Charel, and it's looking like this Blood Moon Ursaluna could well be eclipsed. And there it is. That is Sundown on the Blood Moon.
Yep, that is just a guaranteed KO here. I want to say because Gallade is quite a strong Pokemon, of course. Give it a count. Give it a count. There's no way.
And apparently it's not a guaranteed knockout, that Sigurdstor on the Blood Moon Ursaluna. But that certainly is GG's, and Jost taking that top 8 match here at the Belgian MSS. Very well played there to Charel as well. But fundamentally, the Trick Room just wasn't able to go up, and that seemed to be a pretty big win con for Charel.
I've just got to say thank you for Shmon taking over for me. I maybe spent a little bit too much of that time saying how I was doubting Gallade. And I paid the price. I paid the price for it. And my vocal cords decided to fail me. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Shmon, for taking over there. I'm fine. I've had some water. It's all good. And
we weren't that worried.
I have checked. No, I know you weren't worried, but maybe some nice people in the audience might have been. And I've just checked. It's not a guaranteed.
All right.
It's not a guaranteed.
What was the
it's like 75% chance. It's like pretty guaranteed, but it's like.
All right. What's the Ursaluna spread?
Max HP.
Max
HP. Yeah. It has to be max HP, otherwise
what are the chances we're talking about? You say it's not guaranteed. What's the
75%?
75%.
Right.
Okay.
But it is the life upset, right? It kills itself with the beginning.
Hey, look. At least it gets an attack off. All right. I'm taking that.
That's absolutely true there. Charel just unfortunately really not being able to keep up the pace in that regard. The second game, good adaptation with the possible Among Us there for possible sport targets in that regard, but well adjusted by Jost by just Terra Grass and just being able to absolutely. Gallade went ham. It's crazy to see it go so hard, really.
Yeah. Gallade had a fantastic matchup, and Trick Room wasn't even up. It was so incredible to see. And a helping hand support as well. If you let Gallade run rampant, then that's absolutely what it will do. And Incineroar can't even lower its attack, given it's holding that clear amulet too. So really, really interesting. I'm fascinated to see how Gallade fares in the rest of our matches we're featuring. For now, Shmon, you are honorary Ben Kiriakou. Look at that.
Finally. So I had some good results, but good car. He's
back in 2013.
Yeah. I used the Nidoqueen once. Nidoking? Nidoking, my bad. Oh, sorry.
Okay. There we go.
You know.
So it was Gallade, of course, the most valuable Pokemon in that game. It's a shame we didn't see Jost Iron Moth, but the good news is because Jost has progressed through to the next round of the championship, of the mid-season showdown, then maybe we'll see an Iron Moth in a future game. Potentially. I think Iron Moth is underexplored.
Just being able to use that. Like, I honestly didn't even remember what Iron Moth its typing was till it came up on stream earlier. I was like, don't recall. It's just one of those Pokemon that I don't see all that often, but the typing itself is interesting in that regard. With fire and poison being able to resist the main stabs of like the two fake outers.
Yes.
Mainly as well, and just a good special attacker still at the very least to see.
Yeah, and Rillaboom tends not to be running a ground type move these days, so that keeps it much safer as well. But again, now it gets access to Meteor Beam, thanks to the Power Herb item there as well. It can be a Pokemon that can flip some matchups on their head, but again, it's top 4 very shortly. But Shmon, which of these plushies is your favorite?
Oh, generally, I love the Omanyte. I don't know why. Look. The way its eyes are like just looking out, like I love them. I genuinely, I love Ammonite.
Yeah.
It's so good. Don't get me wrong, Schmon and Snom go hand in hand.
They do.
Like, love that as well. But this particular plushie of Ammonite is my favorite.
I remember you lent your Snom pin to Mr. Ben Kiriakou. It took a little while for you to get that back, but
It's traveled the world.
It did give birth to a tongue twister. Schmon's Snom. That's something
Snom.
you can do to try and limber up before going for a cast. Schmon's Snom.
That's
Schmon's
actually-
Snom. Schmon's Snom.
So if you want to get the vocal exercise, like definitely Schmon, Snom, and then Charlie.
That's hard. Charlie's
to prevent coughing. So remember, people, to prevent coughing and turning into Schmon, you say Schmon, Snom.
yeah, neutralizing gas. Hit the field.
Illusion ability. It was me all along. I am Ben Curia.
Charlie's Chinchino.
Charlie's Chinchino. that's
Charlie's
not bad.
Chinchino.
Charlie's Chinchino.
I hate
Charlie's
to
Chin
say
Chow. Charlie's Chin Chow. Yeah. No, it's good. All good options here.
Chincino.
What do you say? Should we throw to a break?
Yeah, we'll do a little break and then we'll be back with our top 4.
Don't go anywhere. Things are heating up.